Before we jump into today's show, we want to talk about the beer sponsor of this show. You guys already know. Great tasting, less filling, Miller Lite. I got to tell you guys, I know you probably bypassed them because you don't want to see my face anymore, but probably. I am elite on these social media, Instagram challenge ads. It's like when I play my best. I had a football and I had to make 2 out of 3 for a case of Miller. Yesterday with Danny, drained 3 out of 3.
Crushed.
Dude, it's the Miller Lite, and I've done one with putting where I nailed a hole in one, nailed a hoop from up here. It's just that Miller is just that extra incentive for me.
You're a clutch guy.
Yes, that's what I need.
Clutch gene.
That's what I need.
You think he's a clutch gene guy?
I guess when it comes to the Miller, you can call him clutch.
When it's on the line, when it matters most, when it's
that is
light.
when it matters most.
Yeah,
that's when it matters most. On the line. I got to take that case home, and it was great. And it was not only great tasting, it was also less filling. That's what I love. So you don't have to choose what's best, whether it be great taste or less filling, because Miller Lite has both. It tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/midshow, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. So make sure you celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces, fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. On that note, all right, bang, bang. Welcome to the Mid Show. Myself, Eddie, we have Chief, we have White Sox Dave. Hard Knocks episode 4 is in the books. The Bears have also finalized their roster. The Cubs are, as of right now, making a decent push. What's the score right now?
They're beating Skeens right now.
No, they're down 8-3.
Oof.
They were beating Skeens for an inning and a half.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
they were never going to sweep them, so whatever.
You know what? I sat there Tuesday night, and I was just like, what if the Cubs just don't lose this week? Because we play the Nats this weekend.
Yeah, and then the Pirates at home again.
Yeah, I was like, what if the Cubs just don't lose this week?
Yeah.
It appears we will lose this
week. They will lose I'd never, it was Hendricks against Paul Skeens. I'd never thought that they were going to win today. But I've also,
nobody's infallible.
Yeah. Yeah.
In baseball.
No, I know. It's just
Hendricks didn't make it even out of the second inning.
Yeah, he had command issues today. I know he had 3 walks through 2 innings.
He threw strikes at about a 50% clip today, 38 of 70 pitches.
Not good enough.
So we'll get into that. We'll get into the White Sox. They have lost their 100th game on Sunday. College football slate is loaded up this week. Notre Dame takes on A&M. Northwestern Wildcats are in action. Who do they play, Dave?
The Miami of Ohio Redhawks.
There we go. And, we'll start with the Chicago Bears, obviously. Episode 4, White Sox Dave, rapid instant reaction.
I was bored as fuck, which I kind of knew going into it since the starters didn't play that we weren't going to have any action, but they just focused way too much on the third-string quarterback battle this season.
So,
and I guess
I don't see the preseason games are what I like the least because I already watched them, so I don't know why you care about that. That's where I'm like, all right, I watched this game in its entirety. I don't need to see the highlights from a field level view. Yeah, that's how I feel. So I disagree with that, Dave. Overall, I thought it was fine. I would say it wasn't the worst episode. I still think episode 3 was the best. You thought it was the worst?
I thought it was
really okay.
One, yeah,
I liked a couple moments a lot.
What were your moments?
In particular, like I said, and there's also some realization I'm starting to have about Hard Knocks too.
Okay.
Hard Knocks, it's obviously a great show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like made its bread on getting characters out there, making Rex Ryan this bombastic personality, the Devin Kajus who you root for to make the team.
I was rooting against him.
Were you?
Yeah, fuck your Crystals.
All right. Regardless.
Yeah.
What I've come to find out is that when it's your team and you're a diehard and you really follow what's going on, it's not as good because you know what's coming. I'm very curious on how everyone outside of Bears fans feel about this season because they're watching this and being like, oh, Austin Reed, he's really got a shot. There's not a Bears fan who knows a thing about anything thought that Austin Reed had a shot to make this roster.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ever.
Yeah.
Okay? The Vilas, Ian Wheeler, sure, maybe you could get me into it a little bit, but even then, we know the depth chart is DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson, Travis Homer, who is mostly special teams, but still he's slotted in the depth chart, 4th running back, and then it's going to be a 5th running back in Vilas Jones versus Ian Wheeler. It just doesn't really connect with someone who's close to the team.
That's a good.
But the running back one specifically is that is Hard Knocks. That is the guys who are going for that 53rd spot, and it does feel like it came down to Velus Jones and Ian Wheeler, and that to me was maybe it could because I've been so anti Velus Jones, and I've really grown to like through Hard Knocks Ian Wheeler. Like I was kind of captivated by that storyline and like how they're evaluating him and the extra coaching he got in this episode, and then obviously like the heartbreak with tearing the ACL and his mom and the ending scene with Poles. Like that to me was probably the most classic Hard Knocksy kind of moment.
Definitely, and that's it's weird to say I liked it because I don't.
It's a sad,
it's a sad situation, but that's one of the best parts of the episode for sure.
Yeah,
like that's what you come here for. Obviously, you don't want the roundabout. It's good TV, but you don't want the roundabout storyline of someone getting hurt. But you're right.
Yeah.
And a guy that's like, he's giving an NFL a shot. He's going to go be a doctor.
Here's for him specifically because he has the medical background. It was feeling like he was going to get cut. Is this like almost a blessing in disguise
for him? Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it is. He gets to stick on. He gets to catch on, and he gets to,
paid.
He gets paid. He gets to read the playbook if they want to keep him. Who knows? Maybe the Bears move on from Khalil Herbert, and maybe he becomes a third stringer.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. I'd like to go back because at that point I was like, man, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. I was convinced. I was like, I don't know if it's going to be in lieu of Ian Wheeler, but I thought Velus Jones, there was a good chance he got cut. In hindsight, I don't really think there was a chance.
Probably not.
No, because of the
special teams. They seem to really like him.
Yes, and the special teams aspect.
Like a lot more than the fan base.
Yeah, it's just, now you tell me, like, listen, when I watch Velus Jones, even still, and he had a smash mouth, awesome game against the Chiefs, played great. I know his tools. I see a guy, and especially when they talk about his ball security, and we know what he does when he gets in, the kick return, the punt return game. I just don't think the juice is worth the squeeze.
I agree.
I just don't.
I agree.
I don't.
There's too many mistakes.
Yeah, and the Bears seem to think so. And so I never think that Wheeler had the flexibility, positional-wise, to make the team over Velus. So that's why it's like, kind of, sort of was a battle.
He did have some kick return in college.
Yeah.
Some kick return. So I was wondering if maybe like, if they're, they made a comment, he's a 4-3 guy. So maybe he could have slotted into that spot where Velus Jones has had it on lockdown. So he's got this. Here's the other thing about him that bothers me. Like as soon as he checks in the game historically, it's some sort of gadget. So like everybody is kind of keyed on him already, and it feels like, all right, even when you have a little momentum, here comes Velus Jones. He's getting the ball. Everybody's keyed on him. The drive stalls, and he's not like you're saying, juice isn't worth the squeeze. It also feels like he's not Tyreek Hill. Like he's not like so electric that you just like get him on the field and have him make a play. Like he just doesn't. He doesn't do it for me. It's hard to say like you're rooting for a guy to get cut. I'm ready to be done with the Velus Jones experiment.
While I agree with pretty much everything you said, I think that there are 2 points that you failed to gloss over. One of them, I think that the coaching staff, albeit a new coaching staff, a lot of it, but especially Poles in the front office, I think they have earned the ability to. Well, they get the benefit of the doubt for Velus Jones. It seems like they have. I was just looking at a roster comparison from the opening day 53 man 2021 Poles his first year compared to now, and you're like the only one where it's like, maybe not as Khalil Mack versus Montez Sweat. And I mean, Khalil Mack was, probably the best defensive player in football for a minute or even longer. But and I think a good team and a good offensive coordinator, even if the other team knows it's a gadget, they know how to they know how to get him the ball, and those good teams have those 3 or 4 gadget touchdowns a year. Maybe just call it 5 between special teams and gadget plays on.
But here, let me
offense.
Let me play a little devil's advocate against that. While I agree that Poles does whatever, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He blew a 3rd rounder by all accounts.
That's 1. Well, yeah, that's 2.
Sure, by all accounts, he blew the 3rd rounder. Now he has as much goodwill as he could possibly have. Now it's time to wipe hands with it.
Yeah,
why are we?
Yeah.
Like nobody's if they caught him, they'd be like, that sucks. Like definitely a little blemish against Ryan Poles, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not an
nobody
deal
would talk
breaker.
about it a few days.
Yes, exactly. This is the.
It's almost like you get more credit.
Exactly, but now we're going to go into this season and we're going to trust.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think Poles or the coaching staff or Eberflus is trying to right or wrong by keeping him around. Just
I don't think so either.
So that's where the trust comes in. It's like, and you heard, granted, cameras are around, although they're supposed to like come off as hidden cameras, I believe. But when they were talking about him, like the way that they were speaking about him, you could sense their confidence in him as a player. So that's kind of what I'm basing everything off of. Like, if they would have cut him, I would have been like, all right, whatever, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But now that they kept him, I trust that there's a reason and that he actually earned it. Totally. While at the same time, maybe the injury, helped
and maybe this year it's not as easy to key on him if you have Keenan out there, Rome out there, like it's
Caleb, Cole,
right? Like you do have. It's not like it's fucking.
Here he comes,
Dante Pettis over there. Like, let's just focus on Vilas because it's coming to him.
And they've seen every single rep the guy has ever had.
True.
We've seen whatever sample size we have from 2 seasons that haven't been great, but that's all we have.
Yeah.
With that said, you just, and I hate to even say this, but like, remember that year, 2018, you sat there and you're like, this team loses. It's going to be because of like a Cody Parkey field goal.
Oh,
I do get Parkey vibes from Vilas Jones. And listen, the stakes probably are not as high because,
Yeah, but we didn't know that going into that year either.
Yeah.
Well, throughout the season, I'm pretty sure I have tweets out there where I'm like, dude, he is going to fuck.
Well, he hit the upright multiple times.
He hit it like 3 times in a game. You're mad at me for saying that, but am I wrong?
I didn't think of it like that until you brought it up, Eeyore. But you're right.
No, I mean he does. He's a mistake-prone guy.
Yeah.
So if you make a mistake on a 4-13 team, who fucking cares? You make a mistake, week 18 up in Lambeau. It's
a different story.
And it's still funny that we're talking about Parkey. That ball got blocked a little bit.
All right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Sucked.
Yeah.
And then
fuck him.
His Today Show appearance fucking sucked.
Yeah. Fuck him. Oh, the internet's mean to me. I should be going on the Today Show every fucking week.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Fucking loser.
But that's just my point. I just want to throw it out there where it's like, man,
I think it's all good points.
You can't help but sit there and watch and be like, this is something.
But that's on the coaching staff not to put them in the positions where you can fuck up.
I also
like the kicker's the kicker. Pretty much.
Yeah.
You don't have another choice. You have one.
This one. That team should have been trying people out.
All right, let me ask you this question.
Oh, yeah, sure. But, like, that's not on the coaching staff. Yeah. It's not like, hey, he muffed a punt, like, earlier in the game, put someone else back there. You can't do that in the middle of a football game with the kicker.
No, but they should have corrected that.
Yeah, sure. They should.
They should have had guys walk out to the 48-yard line to see who can make a kick.
43.
43, my bad.
Well, 33. Well,
whatever.
It's 43-yarder.
Yeah,
26-yard line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How about Kadarius Toney got cut by the Chiefs?
You want anything to do with him?
No, I'm saying not necessarily, but if you're
I will kick you out of this room if you're going to suggest Kadarius Toney the Bears.
I'm not saying Kadarius.
I don't have the authority to do that, but
I'm saying I'm if you're looking for speed guys that could be in your kick return game, I still feel like you got to be looking for Vilas Jones replacements even now.
If Kadarius Toney was in talks to go to the Bears and they actually went with him, I'd be never more confident that the Bears were going 3-14 again.
How was he a first-round pick?
I mean, potential. Like, he was good. Giants fans loved him. It's his first year, and then he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
He had 1 million drops this year for the Chiefs. He can't stop talking about Daniel Jones on the Giants. No, thank you.
Yeah, no, I don't want him specifically. I'm saying guys like that, like a guy who you could be like, all right, he can do more wide receiver things than Vilas Jones. He might be able to help us in the kick return.
But he's not a wide receiver anymore. Vilas Jones is a running back.
It's crazy, but like that just happened in the last couple of weeks.
I think that's just a roster thing. It might just be.
He's a special teams guy.
Yeah, he's a special teams, but he's going to be used as.
Yeah, we'll see.
In the backfield.
Yeah.
I don't know. Call me Call me jaded too. I know it's a different regime and everything, but I just feel like none of these gadget guys have ever worked besides Tariq Cohen for one season.
Yeah,
you know,
and he did more. Like like that was a frustrating thing about him. They ran in between the tackles a lot.
I know,
and it's like, what are you doing?
Who's that guy Hall? He signs. Like, he's the fastest guy in the league. Nagy's gonna dial up.
Spent a third rounder on Garrett Wolf too.
Yeah, that was
back in the day.
Yeah. Cordero Patterson. Like this guy's gonna. Cordero Patterson.
He had some moments.
No, he didn't.
Not really. Not for us.
Kick return against the Falcons.
I mean, the return game, he's always
Not for once they moved him to running back, he made that successful turn.
Yeah.
I don't know. So call me jaded for that, but whatever. I'm not here to talk about Velus Jones exclusively. Other than that, this episode.
Can we talk about one guy who we haven't even brought him up hardly, aside from maybe like an off mention here and there, is Chad Morton has kind of become my favorite coach on the team, I think.
The running backs coach?
The running backs coach.
Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, but like I'm looking at it from a coach, like he is breaking down Ian Wheeler and building him up. Like it's cool to watch that like coaching like play out on TV right in front of you from week to week, where he's just like relentless on him, but like he's his best friend and biggest cheerleader when he does well.
I
loved it.
Even in the karaoke thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like what the exactly. He's just
come in here like Eeyore. Yeah.
I love that kind of coaching. Like those are the like
he's a hard ass,
but it takes a specific type of player, but the players who do buy into that kind of leadership, like they will go to fucking war for you.
Yep.
And I thought he was kind of an awesome little side subplot throughout the first 4 episodes, and that's all I really got to say about it.
I like that he yelled at them rather than try to be their friend, because I get the vibe that that's most NFL position coaches, that
they're buddy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it probably is because they're all adults, you know. It's not like even going into college.
Yeah, it's hard to coach these guys. It's not like I think that's the pro, obviously, to coaching in college versus coaching in the NFL. Obviously,
you are the authority.
Exactly. Then the difference is like you got to recruit. But I'd say that's like the big trade-off of coaching a position in the NFL versus college.
Right. In the NFL, like I don't want to say peers, but like kind of peers. Obviously, it's like employer.
It's different with Ian Wheeler and Velus Jones than it is with a Sweat.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, like you are talking to someone.
They're probably on first name basis. Like
totally. And you're I mean, college gonna be this way soon, but a lot of these guys are millionaires. I mean, I know Wheeler and
No, I was reading a thing about Notre Dame about how after Notre Dame lost to Clemson last year, Freeman started setting up Zooms with like his important seniors that he was like, because Howard Cross, who's an NFL guy, it's like, we need you to come back for a 6th year. And he this Notre Dame's optimism was really built around Freeman's ability to like re-recruit his own guy.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like a fine line between pushing somebody to get better versus running them out the door because they can't handle it.
Definitely.
So I think there's probably something to what you're saying there.
Yeah, with that said, obviously Ian Wheeler's situation was kind of the biggest story of the whole episode. And it was sad. Like, his mom seems like a great mom, and she was clearly heartbroken. That sucks. To me, like, the part that like got me the most was, and the first time I was really invested in Austin Reed, was when he went up to Waldron and he's like, hey man, I just want to say whatever happens, thank you for investing the time. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was awesome.
That made me really root for that kid.
It was awesome. I have to go back and watch it again. When the way what's the offense? Why am I blanking on his name? You just said it. Waldron. The way he responded, he was kind of taking. He's like, oh, I mean. His facial expression is like, oh well, you're cut, but you're welcome. That's kind of what his response to it is what I took. But
I appreciate.
I did you know really like that. Yeah,
like that's like a guy who knew his fate, but he was like, hey, it's been a
and his little pump up speech. You're like, oh, we're talking about the 98 Bulls, the 85 Bears. We're going to be talking about the 2024 preseason Bears for decades to come. And everyone was like, what the fuck's this guy talking about? And then they kind of got the joke, and then they all went crazy for a minute.
Yeah, it was very funny.
Yeah.
I thought the Skydeck scene was cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Was
you guys feel a little bit better about yourselves for being giant pussies, because they were kind of pussies about it too?
Different thing. We were on the tilt. That was the handcuff.
It's heights.
That's all right.
Oh yeah, I guess it is the same thing.
I think I handle the Sky Deck, no problem.
Well, should we give it a shot?
We don't have to. No. Football season, we got a lot to do.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think I would handle that, no problem. I love and then. Well, actually, the funniest moment of the episode is a no-brainer. I'll get to that before after I talk about DraftKings, though. Listen, we had the appetizer last week. Now it's time to feast. College football is back. Don't miss any of the action. Jump in at the DraftKings Sportsbook. It's a full slate of games for Week 1, including the big matchup in Atlanta between the preseason number 1 and number 16. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. This is going to be DraftKings' biggest college football season to date. Enjoy the ride now all the way through the expanded playoffs. And for all the newbies getting into the college spirit, here's something extra special. New DraftKings customers get $5 to bet to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. It's a great deal. So score big with DraftKings all college football season long. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code MID. That's code MID for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
You would be not smart to not use that promo.
Yeah, that's
code. 5 for 200 is a great promo.
It's a good promo code. All right, obviously the funniest part was a Canadian Eagle buying Clorox wipes instead of dude wipes.
Yeah.
That was, listen.
That's kind of scares me.
Listen.
Like that's an easy mistake to make, now that I think about it.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I thought you were going to say that scares me because it shows how dumb he is.
No. Because I'm like,
he is not the only person to ever done that.
No. And like I've touched bleach before. Doesn't hurt you. Like, but that's like I don't think familiar area.
You necessarily in your body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on your bunghole. You don't
right.
that.
No.
Probably clean though.
Yeah.
Real clean.
100%. That was funny. I still am, and I watch it with my buddy, and he's like kind of over Bajan's dad. I still like it. I think it's funny.
I kind of fast forwarded through that part.
Did you?
Yeah. Like I get it. It's funny, but like I don't know how many times.
He's the best character in the show.
For sure.
Like,
yeah. But like
he's the like only actual character.
Right. Yeah. But I guess like I know all that. Like I cared way more about
the football.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. And like I guess you got to see the side of Tyson, like just you know, watching his dad, and he was just smiling and taking pictures. It was
that
cool.
Guy that he beat in that arm wrestling contest. That guy's never lost an arm wrestling contest in his life, I bet.
The guy that he beat?
The trucker or whatever?
Yeah,
that guy's arms were fucking as big as my thighs.
And I couldn't tell if Bajan's dad was hustling him.
I couldn't tell either because it looked like he was about to get beat.
And he was on the ropes, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely on the ropes.
He would annoy me a shit ton more, especially through these 4 if I didn't think that's just how he was. Like, that's just him. He's just a fucking meathead.
100%, yeah.
Arm wrestler.
Yeah,
that's why he's great.
I still enjoy those parts. And then
that was in Wicker somewhere too, that arm wrestling contest.
No, it was in Kansas City.
I thought.
Oh, didn't you hear he was screaming Chiefs Kingdom? Wasn't that in Kansas City?
I thought it was at some place in Wicker. For some
you guys are looking at me when I just said that kind of fast spot.
No, I thought it was. I'm pretty sure, like you said, "Welcome to Chiefs Kingdom," but I could be wrong. Who knows where it is? And then the last thing was obviously the fucking, what are those things? They're not crystals, but he was the
sound things,
sound drums.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was called, the sound drums.
Yeah. So Adrian Claiborne.
Yeah.
He had kind of his moment there, and I thought that was like someone I didn't really know much about, and they profiled. I thought that was
8 teams in 10 years for him is year 10. A lot of guys can't get to year 10.
Yeah, I thought that was shots fired.
I'm just saying it's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, I'd probably get a lot more money in like retirement and pension and all that. Yeah,
it's very impressive to get to year 10.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that. I thought that was a good little storyline. So I think I was higher on the episode than White Sox Dave.
You know what? After talking about it and chopping it up right here, maybe I'm a little higher on it now.
I think episode 1 was the worst.
I'll tell you the worst part though. The cliffhanger at the end was worse than The Sopranos. I thought it was the final episode of the season.
Oh, did you?
Without realizing there was a 5th, and I'm like, what the fuck is going? This is worse than The Sopranos. It just went to black. And I'm like, that's it? That's it? That's all you're going to talk about? And then I Googled it, and I'm like, all right, there's one more.
Adrian Colbert.
Yeah, Colbert.
Claiborne. I was like, that's the Iowa guy.
Claiborne was the defensive end from Iowa.
Yes, yeah. I knew I fucked that up. Adrian Colbert, sorry.
He used to party in North Central all the time. That's how I was like, wait.
So there's one more episode. And then my last kind of bow on Hard Knocks talk is I was impressed with Ryan Poles, the person.
Yeah.
Like how he handled that whole meeting with Ian Wheeler. So that was cool. And I
love Poles.
I would love to. I know he's not the coach, but it seems like he's like, oh, phone's always open. It's always on.
Whatever you need.
Just
whatever
like
you need.
Good dude.
Yeah, like that's the guy you want to play for.
And that's a guy who's been in that position, because wasn't he like a 7th round pick out of BC or something like that? I'm sure he tried to hang on a few times and it got to the end and it just wasn't. And like,
did he ever play like snaps, or is he kind of quick in and out?
I'm pulling it up, but yeah, he was with the Chiefs for 5 years.
Oh, did not know that.
But yeah, those are my takeaways. And
no, I apologize. He did not do that.
I was going to say
he was with the Bears as a practice squad guy in 2008, and that was it.
Who would that would have been with? Turner?
2008.
Or is that March?
It's Lovey. So, I mean, I don't know. Just take your pick of offensive coordinator carousel.
A part I liked in there, it kind of juiced me up for football totally, was when the defense kind of rocked Ian Wheeler, and then the defense started talking trash to our offense, and it was Montez Sweat kind of leading the charge. Yeah. And I was like, all right, we got some bad boys out there. Then Ian Wheeler came back and popped the next guy, and I was like, all right, this is football. Like, we're here. Let's go.
No, that was nice. That was nice. Other than that, 4 episodes. We're gonna wrap it up next week on Tuesday.
That's real shit.
I think I don't know. Like, the 5th episode could be awesome. But
I don't care about it.
Yeah,
I'm ready. I loved the trade stuff in episode 3.
Yeah.
So if we get a better look at, those 2 moves that they make to add to the roster, I think I'd like to see that again.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll see. I know last year I think they stopped showing players getting cut.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's back or not.
What? Because of the the L's, the L words.
I think
is it the L words? I don't know if I'm allowed to say that because of
because of what?
That over here.
I think that word just occupies too much space in your brain.
Yeah, he just wants to have joy.
Personally,
wants to have joy in his life.
So we'll see. But I think overall, like, has this lived up to the expectations?
No, not even close. Thought? I was super. I
think your expectations might have been high,
and you thought there's no way this is going to be. There's no way this could fail, right?
No, not like that.
Oh, I don't think
it's just it was kind of a pass fail. Was that entertained or not? Mostly not. And like the one we watched together at Camp Barstool, that episode was fucking sweet. The rest of them, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And I think the last episode, I'm already looking forward to the first game. I'm over Hard Knocks at this point. I'm over the off season.
Yeah,
it's time.
Over roster shuffling. Obviously, there is no roster shuffle anymore.
Yeah, I barely watched that Chiefs game. I was like, I'm ready for the Titans.
Yeah.
Speed me up. Give me the Titans. And
speaking of that, the Titans just made a nice little move.
Yeah, they do.
Got a linebacker from the Rams.
So he, what's his name, Lance? He had like 160 tackles, and he led all linebackers in tackles for loss last year.
Ernest Jones from the Rams. Yeah, he's good.
He's really good. Really good. So their defense just got a lot better. At least a little better. It got better.
Yeah. Well, next week we're going to do the wins and losses with Big Cat at some point, so look out for that. We didn't forget about that. That is coming.
Well, we have one thing that was said off camera that you weren't available for.
What was that?
I'll turn the floor over to Chief.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now you have reason to be scared, Ed. He says he thinks they're going to be really, really good.
Who said that?
I said, what if they're just going to be good?
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You're like, I think.
I tweeted it.
You tweeted it?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting at with, like, everyone thinking Hard Knocks to be this awesome thing. Like, no way, but, like, sometimes things just don't live up to expectations.
This guy's such a
I'm just saying, though. Like, dude, you're the guy that was all over the White Sox to hit the over. Like, I mean, you're wrong all the time, and you get mad at
I'm right all the time, though, too. You don't say anything. You just, maybe this, maybe that. Have a fucking take.
I did. I said David Montgomery. Boom. We drafted his ass. I said
Roquan Smith and Cole Kmet. Bang, bang.
I said Colby White.
Bang, bang.
Boom, we drafted him.
All right, we're 2 for 2.
Boom. What do you mean?
I said Connor Bedard. They drafted him, too.
Oh, yeah. That was went on a limb. Went on a limb. You're wrong all the time.
I have more takes than you. I got more balls than you. I'll put it out there more.
Tell me. I bet you I could find some
fucking ear. What? Well, yeah, I get things wrong, but I get things
Have
right.
a take, Ed.
Yeah.
What do you want me to have a take on? Give me a question.
Literally anything.
Give me a question. You won't give me a fucking question.
I just told you to have a take.
I literally said I think the Bears will be between 7 and 10 wins. That's my take. I will be disappointed if they don't.
That's barely a take.
How is that barely a take?
7 wins last year.
That's a prediction.
Put your nuts on the table.
I don't need to put my nuts on the table. I told you where I think they're going to be.
I'll say 10 wins. Vegas has set it at 9.5. You can find that on DraftKings. 9.5.
I don't need Skip Bayless radio. That's what you.
Not Skip Bayless radio. I have a thought. I've thought it through. That's my thought.
I think you do Skip Bayless radio.
No, you don't. Now you're.
You know what?
Floundering.
You do some Skip Bayless radio here.
How do I do Skip Bayless radio?
I mean,
because I don't think you really believe that the floor for the Bears last year was 12 wins.
I didn't say that.
What did he say? 10 wins?
10.
You said 10 was the floor.
Yeah, I got a little excited.
That's crazy.
You said that was disingenuous when I said that?
That's what disingenuous.
You said
dumb.
I don't think I really
that was very
believe
dumb.
That. It was dumb. It was dumb.
But I think you knew it was dumb a little bit.
No, I didn't know it was dumb. I don't intentionally say dumb things.
I think you knew a little bit there was some dumbness in it.
It was a risk, but I'm willing to take risks. I was willing to be like, hey, like I think the defense is going to be much better. I thought Justin Fields could improve. He didn't.
There's a difference between being wrong and having no take.
But when I give my take, I'm your. So what? So make
your take isn't a take. If you're like they might have a top 10 pick or they might be in the playoffs. That's the range of your take. No fucking shit.
You're not giving me a specific question.
I said the win total line is 9.5. Where are you going, Ed?
Under.
Pussy.
What?
No, that's
exactly
he's
what I said.
afraid to believe.
No, you don't.
He's afraid to put his heart out there.
But here's what happens: we get into these arguments, and then it just turns on this. So it's like, well, I think I could see this right now.
All right, yeah, under.
That's how I am. I'm an analyzer type of guy. I don't sit there and spew bullshit.
It's not bullshit. I believed it. I was wrong, but I believed it.
All right.
Big difference.
Let's take a break from all this arguing because I want to talk about Vanderhagen razors. Make the switch from a cartridge razor to a safety razor today with Vanderhagen. Safety razors allow you to get a closer, more comfortable shave. The use of one-blade razors help prevent nicks and cuts while making your skin feel smoother than ever. The best part, these blades cost as little as $1 a piece and last anywhere from 3 to 5 shaves. This will save you thousands of dollars over the years compared to the cost of cartridge razors. The blades are ice-tempered stainless steel blades from Germany that are sharp enough to give you the perfect shave. Ready to step up your shaving game? Get the smoothest, closest shave with our single blade and shave butter combo. Say goodbye to nicks and irritation and hello to a shave that's almost too smooth to handle. Get a shave so smooth it should come with a warning. Perfectly close, incredibly soft. This is how real men shave. Check out your local Target and Walmart to get yourself a Vanderhagen safety razor today. If you're serious about your grooming game, hit that follow button at Vanderhagen. Stay in the loop with the latest shaving tips, product drops, and exclusive giveaways. Whether you're mastering the art of the close shave or just looking to keep it fresh, our Instagram is where the best in men's grooming comes to life. Join the community, level up your shave, and keep your style sharp.
And I also disagree with him having.
He's in the fucking shallow end.
No,
he doesn't want to go off the dive.
I'm not.
But give me a record. Give me a record. Like he wouldn't do this with. Do you remember it was a while back with like a pizza review? He's like,
I'm not. I just arguing with you. At pizza was that this guy wanted.
I don't know about the pizza thing. What are you talking about? The pizza?
I'll say fine. I'll say. We still got to go through the schedule, so I am fair to change my mind next week.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Sure.
But gun to my head right now, I'll go 9-8.
Okay.
Right. Which I don't.
Thank you for.
Well, why don't you fucking hold my feet to the fire more then? If this bothers you,
we're doing it right now.
Well, that's what. All right, because I came at you first. That's the only reason why you did this.
You don't think I would have?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't think I would have came at you if you came at me?
I'm talking to him. I don't know what you're talking about.
Go ahead.
I don't know what we're talking about at all right now.
You're saying that
started bringing up pizza, and I lost my.
Because I asked him, I'm like, oh, give me a pizza score. And he
wouldn't score on what?
I don't even remember.
On the Bears?
My point is that I asked him to like give me a take on it, and he's like, oh, I don't do pizza scores. Like it was pretty good. I'm like, put it at a number that quantify it, so I know exactly what you're thinking, not just like some ambiguous. That was my point in that. Like, he couldn't even do something as simple as just tell me if you liked a piece
Was
of
that
pizza.
on camera or on camera?
I think it was off camera.
That was
and it was like
specifically,
years ago.
I was proving a point.
That you remember this
At that point, yes.
And I don't even know if it was.
I specifically know because I just didn't
What
want
was-
to. It was John's Pizza on Western. And I didn't want
That's
to
what
give
it
you
was.
this. I didn't want to. I remember vividly. I did not want to give you the satisfaction of a review. But that's
My point.
You want to do it now? That's
At the
point you
time,
made?
no, I don't even think he's not telling the truth right now. I don't think.
Why? About
That was
what?
Because
Pretty
at the
specific.
time, I was like, "Oh,
believe him.
give me a pizza score." It's like,
What do you think?
Now,
about
once
telling
I
the truth
started
now?
like trying to drag it out of him, then it might have changed to giving a pizza to not wanting to. But right off the bat, when I was like, "Give me a pizza score," he wasn't like, "Oh, I'm gonna fuck with Dave."
I don't remember.
He just didn't want to do it.
No. I remember at that point, I was like, I'm not giving this guy what he wants. That I specifically
After
remember.
you already weren't giving me what I wanted, then you just dug
Dave,
your heels
because
in.
I don't want to give it to you because I don't want to sit there and argue with you about it. That's fine. It was
It was a punt.
It was before the podcast too. This wasn't for.
It was a
This
punt.
is a long time.
It was
Yes.
a punt.
I don't know why we're talking about John's Pizza on Western right now.
I don't know
Well,
either.
listen, I'm fine with this. This is good podcast talk. I could fucking come at you for being like, I think you, listen, I don't think you're being disingenuous, but I think you get to a point where like, I need to talk myself into this.
I do that with everything in my
That's what
entire
I'm
life.
saying. I
Yeah.
think you get to that point where you're like,
Well, like, what's
like I don't
the
really
point
believe,
of,
like, I need to talk myself into this. Like I need to be.
It's not even talking myself into it necessarily, but it's like,
I think
no, let me finish.
I think you are the number one guy who would be fucking falling for what's the you're a fucking timeshare guy to a T.
I've
You
never
are
owned
an-
a timeshare.
Yeah, but you are an at home for made for TV movie. Like you watch something and you get
Bullshit.
so sucked in and
No. But like,
Crap.
if we're on the precipice of a season, it is not like I don't want to go in and just like dip my toes in or get the mild jarred. I want to have optimism. I'm an optimist by nature. Like that's where
But
I and it's like I look at the Cubs and I'm like, maybe this and that. You try to find a path.
Sure.
And it's born out of. In my nature, it's to be. I am more of a risk taker, and I am more of an optimist that things will work out. And I try to see the best in people. Where you're like,
I think
my toes in to touch the
Yeah,
water,
because I
and
think-
maybe I'll go up to my knee, and then maybe in 3 hours I'll put my head under.
Listen. I think there's some disingenuous in being an optimist by nature. That's
How
my point.
it's by nature. It can't be disingenuous if it's by nature.
a legitimate oxymoron.
I know it is. But hear me. Like, think about it. Let it marinate.
I'm
in
the
your
guy who
brain.
writes Notre Dame's going undefeated every.
I understand. So that's why it's like,
Well,
all right,
that's
this
a
isn't
shtick.
real.
Now it is.
Because you're always on La La Land. You're always
I'm
in the
not
optimist
always
La
on
La
La
Land.
La Land.
You kind of are.
How?
We literally just have a million takes that you're on. You thought the 101 loss White Sox were going to hit the over. Like every one of your takes, it's like I think this is going to be it. You're in an optimist,
What was the over?
fun land where there's
68?
gumdrops and there's berries. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
all right.
68 and then-
Dylan Cease ain't changing that,
Dylan Cease would have helped with that.
but he still ain't
Moncada
changing
getting
it.
hurt in the first week.
That-
And yeah, I was coming out of the interview with Getz where it's like, can he have enough ball players to drag some like competitive fire out of the fucking dogs those who were the core guys winning or making the playoffs not that long ago? Can they raise the level to get to 66 or 68 wins, whatever it was? It didn't seem inconceivable to me at the time. Obviously, it was 50 games wrong. Okay? Sorry.
Only like 30.
Sorry, yeah. So, but it's not like I am looking for that silver lining a lot of times in every aspect of my life. Like that's how I am.
Yeah, but
And that leads to you saying dumb things like last year's.
It leads me to be disappointed. I'd rather go for it and be disappointed than be like, well, we were never really.
But
that
even
good
when I say
anyways.
something I don't, it's Eeyore. So what? So that's
No,
what I'm
it's
saying.
not.
Yeah, it is.
You're perpetual Eeyore, and I'm on the opposite.
You're Eeyore.
That's
just-
not
You're
true.
just Eeyore.
4-7, 365. Ed.
I don't think
You're
that's
Ian
true.
Wheeler. You see how Morton called him Eeyore at one point in the show?
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he was like the whole, like every episode.
I literally just picked the Bears have a winning record, but then anything else say throughout the season,
we
gonna
had
end.
to be like.
That has
you said
nothing to
7
do with you
10.
picking them to be 9 and 8. That's like right, exactly, probably where they should be.
It's mild jar.
It's the fact that we had to pull it out of you to get to that.
You never asked me. You ever wonder why I ask the questions on this show? Throw something back at me once in a while. It's not hard.
It is
hard because you just middle.
To throw it back at me.
You just middle.
To throw it back at me. Then put my feet to the fire.
I got a problem with you now too, Dave.
Be a good podcaster. Put my fucking feet to the fire.
I got a problem with you now too.
Holy shit.
My problem is that as soon as he starts to turn on me, you scoot your chair over to his side. When sometimes,
well, you're both wrong. You're a dummy.
Sometimes we got it. Like, yeah, you fine. But we got to be able to pin him down. You let him weasel out.
No. I know how to corner Ed just fine. I think that I'm trying to see.
He's been slipping out your grips for 5 years.
I have been seeing the nuance in this conversation the entirety of the conversation. You're both wrong and you're both right. Ed, you are perpetual Eeyore. Just 24 hours a day to Eeyore.
Perpetual Eeyore. This guy
point to Chief
has a dartboard with Jerry
Point to Chief also where
doesn't watch his team.
You don't like to
don't chase the ball down the hole.
Doesn't watch his team that's on the whatever. He can't sit there and talk about the Cubs without being like they don't spend money. Like you say, like
Dave, all right, don't chase the ball down the hall. Finish your point.
Ed also had a couple of good points, but the overarching theme of this conversation is that Ed, you don't have takes.
How is that the overarching thing when I'm coming at him? That you just said he's on your side.
You're making me out to be someone who is like Mitchy Mitch, okay? And that's I don't want to make that a shot, but like I will call it as
that's not
as more information comes in,
and as
I will adjust.
As we've talked through this conversation, I feel like I refined it and I got to a point where you understand.
Yeah, but like I understand that about myself. I understand that I want to root for things that I want to see. And so I look for ways for that to happen. It's why another reason why I'm a fucking terrible gambler. It's why I'm a Nottingham Forest fan. I convince myself that they're going to find a way to be good again.
Okay.
And it's just like that is and then sometimes and when it works out, when Notre Dame goes undefeated, like that first blog, the one back in 2012, I believed that one. And I wrote it. And then there were other years where I wrote it and I'm like, this is probably not going to happen. But I still write it and I still want it to happen. And I'm still rooting
for it. Well, the Notre Dame thing is a bit. It's funny. I'm not, everyone has their bits. I'm not, I'm not coming at you for that.
But
I'm not calling you, I didn't say.
I understand that. I'm saying, but like that is an example where everyone thought that year that they sucked. And I'm like, they haven't, look at the schedule. They got a chance.
Yes.
And like I would rather be
and this is what I'm saying. Your takes to me are sometimes hollow because it's always from the shiny tower where it's like everything's great and sunshine is shining.
No,
that's my point.
They're not hollow,
but
they're built.
Okay. How about this? Let me ask you a question, Ed. You want to?
So I would rather
say the Blackhawks were going to be in.
No, but we've always.
I'm not even saying that this year.
We've always ran through this. The teams that all of us are specifically meant to cover, the people who are always on the front lines are always less positive than the rest of us. That's always been the case. There's always been like, oh, let's make a case for the Blackhawks. They'd be like, nope, you guys are fucking idiots. There's always been like, oh, let's make a case for the Bears. They'd be like, let's reel it back. Same thing Carl used to do thing with the Cubs, and then same thing with the Blackhawks.
Wrong.
That's true.
Wrong. I can use the Hawks as an example. They're in 2015 as an example.
I'm talking 19 on, 18 on.
Why?
Because
I haven't changed my personality. They get down. Yeah, that's a terrible point.
That's a terrible point.
For me?
Yeah.
No, we can't said this.
You said on the front lines, the Hawks have been bad the entire time we've been doing this show.
We've said this before, though, and we've agreed with me. The person who usually covers the team pumps the brakes a little more. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But we'll always pump the brakes a little more.
But when the Hawks were in their run, okay, and like I remember specifically in that 16 series against the Blues when they lost in Game 7, I was very worried heading into that series because I'm like, they're a one-line team. It's going to be very difficult. Hold on. But then in previous years, in 15, when everybody was writing them off, can't withstand this many hits, Tampa Bay is too deep. I'm like, and they're down in all those series. I'm like, I think they're going to win. And it's like, that's because I could look at the ice, I can look at the team, I can know the coaching staff, I know that the adjustments are coming, and I thought that they were the better team, that they would win. So I'm like with them, I'm very realistic with them.
I know I'm not talking about back then. This is literally from when we started podcasting.
But it's my same personality the whole time. It's like I'm not.
You're just making more arbitrary time frame,
and I'm not more guarded about the.
What do you mean arbitrary? There's a very fine line time frame when the show started. 15. I met him one time in my life. I didn't know him back then.
But I knew myself back then.
Okay.
So it's like you're saying, like, it's my.
There is definitely.
I haven't changed how I look at teams from 15 to now.
I know we've definitely talked about this before.
I know the point that you're trying to make, but like the team when you're closest to it, you know all the warts is kind of what you're saying. So
exactly.
Totally fair. But
like that's the thing. Like there's not much stake in like Dave. Like and you say it all the time. Like White Sox and Northwestern, everyone else is in the back seat. You've said that for sure.
White Sox, Northwestern,
exactly. So it's like
Bears slightly underneath, and then I don't give a shit
for sure. And that's just a reality,
right? But I think you will.
There's not much skin in the game.
I think you'll look for warts that aren't necessarily there. Where with the Hawks, like I know, like I have a lot of concerns about this rebuild. Okay, like I think everyone's expecting it to be like last time, and once all the guys are here, we're gonna win Stanley Cup. I got a lot of concerns about what is coming through the pipeline, and if Bedard can be the best player on the best team. Like I got a lot of concerns about that. But like I'm not like if new information comes in, I'm not going to be like, well, let's wait and see I'm like no, like this team's got it. If they don't win, something happened, but like they have it or they don't have it. And I feel like while I am an optimist by nature, like I don't it's not hollow. It's not hollow. It's like I'm looking for the best case scenario. That's different. Like there's logic behind the things that I say in my points.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think that
Lance, what do you got? That I'd like to hear from you.
I got one quick question.
Lance is probably the most objective, and he probably knows all about. We've all been in the same kitchen for a long time. Yeah, but he's like.
Lance just had his.
Now, are you asking me about whether
anything, any observations from this conversation?
I think at times. I agree that sometimes you do maybe not have a take fully. And I think that sometimes, though, that is okay just to maybe not jump the gun. And I think sometimes that maybe that makes a good dynamic. I notice this, what I would say, is that a lot of times when I'm trying to make a social clip about a good point about the Bears, it predominantly will be Chief kind of taking over that thing. Because I think sometimes that Chief will have a take that's optimistic that I think will get the people going sometimes. And I think that'll really work.
Great for fodder, for sure.
Yeah, so I think it's like a good combo there.
I'm not doing it for fodder.
It's just that's a byproduct now.
Byproduct of it, sure.
Yeah,
exactly. I never disagreed with you guys saying that, by the way.
With what?
With sometimes I'll shy away from a take. I've never said like, oh, that's not true. Mm-hmm. I said throw one on me and I'll like hold my feet to the fire and let's see where we get. What, in my opinion, I just don't live in a
You're about to say a fantasy world.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You but that's where Ed's right. You do live in that fantasy world.
That's not what I was going to say. But
what were you going to say?
I don't live in a black and white world. And
I kind of do.
Yeah, see, I don't live in a black and white world. I've always thought sports radio guys were blowhards where they tried to sit there and they fucking knew exactly pound for pound what was going to happen. I was like, dude, I don't see how you can do that. Like, I've always really kind of,
that's
like Terry Boers used to kind of dance around the back, like, you know, and I've always just kind of really liked how he did things. So that's kind of just how I am by nature. Like, I just don't think anything's really black or white.
Well, when you're making predictions, no one can predict the future.
Sure.
That's why we're having takes.
Sure.
Yeah.
But to say, like, I've definitely said when I thought the Bears were going to be good or bad. Like, maybe I don't give you an exact number or an exact, who's going to be whatever, but I've definitely.
Like, when I ask you, do you think the Bears, you're like, I think they could be pretty good. Like, that's the non-committal that I'm talking about specifically. It's like, it's a yes or no question. Don't fuck around with the gray area. Don't fuck around with the nuance.
It's an honest answer, though.
I'm sure it's an honest answer, but honest? Like, give me.
This is like gun to head kind of questions where it's like, you got to.
Yeah, well, but like, give me a gun to head. Be like,
you get like frustrated when we ask too.
No.
Like, I'm like, Ed, what do you think? And you're like,
show me an example. Obviously, you don't have them right now, but
no, we do have them right now.
When?
Because we're like, how do you? There's somewhere between 7 and 10 wins. Well, it's like, all right, that's You could probably say that about 80% of the team.
Literally almost every team in football.
Well, then they were like, there's a thing called a follow-up question. Like, give me one if you had to have a gun to your head. No one's never said that.
But your instinct is to be like somewhere with the other 80% of the teams in the league.
Because I think like there are
like no shit.
I think there are tiers.
I think that you also are afraid to be insanely wrong. He's not. He'll rapid fire and he'll be insanely wrong.
Yeah,
like 10-win minimum. That was a fucking crazy take. That was an insanely bad fucking
but but like they still got.
And I'm saying that because I'll reserve things and I like and not say them even if I believe in them and I'm convicted in that thought. Like I just won't say them because I know how crazy it sounds. I think that but that's for me like 1 in every 100 takes. For you, I feel like that's the overarch, like that dominates a lot.
Yeah, but
and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's not like a personal dig or nothing.
I'm not taking anything personal. I think this is a good show.
I think so too.
For the record, I think this is good, and I think it's also a good time for us to slide in that there are some show changes happening next week that we will tease. That I think this is great leading into it. But I don't know. I guess never mind.
No. Say it.
You don't think like you spew bullshit a lot, Dave? Like sometimes you're like you don't know what you're talking about and you just say it. I don't really want to be that guy. You know? Like
in what manner?
Like just anything.
Yeah,
like Ted Williams' head is in a Joliet basement. Like, I don't know. Like,
I was gonna do it again today, but
no. What were you gonna do? But I love you for it. No, I love you for it. But that's just not my role on the podcast.
Like 12 different times over the last year, and I was about to do it again, and the bits kind of played out, but I just keep bringing up Joliet randomly, and you finally started catching on randomly like a couple times ago. I was about to do it again today. I'm like, oh, maybe he was down in Joliet or something, and yeah.
I don't think that was a bit. You're saying that was a bit?
You can go back and rewind it. I'll say random things about Joliet just so.
But like, you're saying I was random, like that was a bit?
Why would his head be buried in Joliet?
I think when you said that like when I remember that moment, were you kidding in that moment when you first said that?
Every time I brought
up
Joliet,
that clip. Yeah. Pull up that clip now, Lance. And what is it from? The
Bears are probably also like 3 or 4 plays away from having 10 wins last year.
Yeah, that's actually what I was gonna say. Is that?
But you can say that about every single team, though. You can say that like if you follow every
Hail
single
Mary,
team.
You had the collapse against Denver. Like they had like.
What about the game where they won 12-9 and they beat that dude from Josh Dobbs and Minnesota? That's a game they should not have won. Like you could say that for every team,
right? But
like
if you're how I am, and you're looking at it's like you're this time last year,
right?
Could Justin Fields get a little bit better while also
having
the running? Yeah. He didn't have any of that. They still got to 7, and they still had 3 or 4 games where they were right fucking there. So if you're in my brain, and you're like, all right, year 3 of Justin Fields, and we know he can run the ball. He had what that year, 1,100 yards or more on the ground, something like
first 1,000-yard rusher
something
ever.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay, dynamic. Can he add a little bit? Not even a lot, but a little bit. And then you add all these free agents. Could this team get to, with the last play schedule, get to that spot? And they were not that far off if you break it every game down from that spot. So it wasn't like in hindsight.
See, that's where I disagree.
But because you were never a believer in Fields. Which is
no, I'm talking about this in
but
hindsight.
You were right
at this
about
point.
that.
I'm talking in hindsight at this point.
Okay,
like you, and it's my job as the rational mind on this podcast to reel everybody in and make sure everybody's nice and even keel. I'm saying that while you say that, and that's what kind of could coax you to have a crazy take like that. You look at all 32 teams in the NFL, and even though really dog shit teams, I'm sure there's multiple games that the Carolina Panthers could have won that they blew, and I'm sure there's multiple games that they blew that they could or won that they should have lost.
But time out for a second here. So, but you're saying it was a crazy take. They got to 7 wins. It was a crazy take. Hold on.
You said bare minimum 10 wins.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But knowing that they won 7, okay, and incorrectly assuming some development on top of the running ability with Justin Fields, I don't think it was crazy or illogical or hollow to assume in year 3 as a starter, a guy could who's a first-round pick who has tools could take a step that would push a team that was pretty solid into that territory.
But
it's not a crazy, hollow, insane take. It was just wrong.
10 wins. If you would have just left it at that, that would have been perfectly adequate, perfectly fine, not crazy. You said bare minimum. That's what makes it fucking insane. Calling any team, aside from like the Chiefs right now, a bare minimum 10-win team.
You're right. So some
is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah. So the language, sure. So if I had left that part out, sure. But that's where my head is, where it's like, hey, like you would hope and assume that there would be.
We all had the same thoughts
from that.
Yeah.
No, I was the only one that said that.
I mean, well, to get to that 10 wins, that's everything that you just said had to happen.
Right.
So that's how I was looking. I'm like, yeah.
And if I believed it was going to happen, then that's how I get there. But it's not like hollow or fodder or disingenuous or any of these other slander.
No, yeah, he was trying to throw the ball so you could chase it. But like you said that I spew a bunch of bullshit. You say I've been nothing but negative about the Bears the last handful of years. The quarterback position, and I was the first one to do it a lot of times. I wasn't afraid to put my nuts on the table and have a take. I was the first one to say Justin Fields fucking stinks.
Yeah, but I
was the first one to say
I was
what's his face? Eddie Jackson fucking stinks.
I held firm on Fields. I was there. I was like my meter was slowly falling every game, but yeah.
But does me being as optimistic as I am now, does that like hurt or help your thought about how the Bears are going to be? Because I think
that carries weight.
I am very excited about this team. Not in like our win totals are pretty much the same. I think 9-10 wins. Yeah, right about there. Sounds about right. But like I'm not even
fine. 7 or 10's not fine. Okay, but continue.
I'm sorry.
I said 9 or 10 is fine, but 7 or 10 is not fine. But continue.
But I have a history of putting takes on.
I know. I'm just keep it going.
But I think we are on the precipice of a really fun era of Bears football, and I am so
totally
bullish.
Agree. Literally, we have the best fucking what I think is one of the best wide receiver rooms in the NFL.
Maybe the best.
Maybe we could go through it, and we have a fucking #1 pick quarterback. Like, of course, there's so many reasons to be honest.
And here's
cap space for day. There's so many reasons.
And here's a take.
And I've said all of this for sure, but continue.
I think, or no. I don't think. I know Caleb Williams this year will be a good quarterback. I know that. Health aside, if he starts 14 games, call it. I know that he will be.
What's your definition of good?
So 12th to 18th, like right in that middle part of the curve, and that is better than any quarterback the Bears have ever had. That's better than any quarterback the Bears have ever had. I think he's like, and
I'd say Jay was in that 12 to 18 range.
Yeah. I mean, sure, he was, but I think he is going to step in right now and
be in the 12 to 18 range.
I think that he will probably be better than that, but that's the floor we're looking at. Is if he's the 15th best quarterback in football for the duration of his rookie contract, I think that would be a disappointment. But and I think that year one right now, that's about what maybe better. If it's worse, I think that's a bad thing. But I think his floor right now is like 15th, 17th best quarterback in football this year.
Just to go back to not even just our personal conversations here, but going back to saying, like, you always go back to the 7 and 10. I mean, go through those 7 wins though. Like,
yeah, they had a last place schedule, and they have this.
That Minnesota game was fucking ugly.
Like we there was one good win against the Lions.
Yeah,
one.
Yeah,
one good win. Besides that,
play who's on your schedule.
Should beat them twice.
Sure, I get it, but just point it out.
Yeah,
the division's going to be good. That's 6 games. That's 6 out of the 17. Division's going to be really good.
Yep.
If we split,
that's great.
That's a success.
I agree.
Success. Mm-hmm. You hope to get 2 against the Vikings. I mean, hope to get fucking all 6.
Right.
But regardless, did you find Ted Williams?
I did find Ted Williams, yes. So here, I'll pull it up.
All right, I need you objective here, Chief. Did White Sox Dave, was this a bit?
I can't hear it.
Williams were just frozen.
Well, Ted Williams' head is frozen.
It's down in Joliet, I'm pretty sure.
No.
I swear to God, I remember hearing it.
Dave.
For some reason, it was down in Joliet.
That's the craziest thing you ever said.
Why is that crazy? Can you check where Ted Williams' head's located?
No chance.
I don't know why this is what I remember hearing.
Why did they freeze it?
Because his son wanted to like clone him eventually to be another 400 hitter or something. That was what I remember hearing.
So
that part is actually true. I remember hearing that
the
part.
technology. I don't think he wants to bring him back to hit another fucking.
I'm actually that part of the story is actually
this thing
true.
says it was in California in '72,
that is,
and then but the company that has it is based out of Arizona. So I don't know where the Joliet thing is.
I don't.
You know what?
That's not amazing.
Why did this one take?
I do remember hearing his son say that.
Thoughts, Chief?
I don't think that's a bet, Dave.
You asked me about Joliet the other day, and I was about to run it out.
So you said Joliet specifically.
It's been subtle. It's not very.
In that story, that was like I'm just.
Anytime I brought
fuck
out,
around.
I'll just throw it in. And I was about to do it earlier in this episode, but I thought it was too close to.
So this is just like a joke for yourself.
I'm going to Joliet this weekend, actually.
Oh, that's why. That's why you brought it. It was yesterday.
Yes,
the casino.
Yes, exactly.
Like, that's what it was. I was like, how can I always listen? But anyways,
so Dave, you're acting there. In that clip,
I've acted
the whole
Francis
time. That was
video.
Yeah, that's
Dave
what I was going to say. Dave's a good actor.
Yeah,
you're a good actor.
I had to tell people at that fun fair equestrian thing that we were doing in Arizona that it was all an act because they thought I was about to kill Francis.
Part of you wanted to, though.
No.
None?
Anything else Bears-wise? I mean, we'll get into the Titans and all that jazz next week. Like I said, big show announcement. And I can't stress enough that it is a big show announcement.
Yeah.
No.
I
had something Bears-wise. I know I had something. I don't think it was cut-wise. Nothing really.
I will say this. After
surprising.
I have decided that since he's done the 90% glow-up, I think that Eberflus should fix the gap in his teeth. That's the last thing, and then he's perfect human. That's all I got on
I don't mind a little
character.
A little grit.
Well,
Michael Strahan, he refuses to.
Well, that's his like entire brand.
Trademark, yeah.
He probably does have it trademarked, right?
I don't know.
You're not allowed to have gaps in your teeth anymore because of Michael Strahan. You'll get sued.
Because of Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had something else, though. Anything cut? Nothing, really.
For what?
Nothing.
Like the Bears cuts. There was nothing really that jumped off the page. Bagent and Williams, quarterbacks, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Rippon had a good preseason, so.
That
sure
was the one where
and
he's been around a little bit, right?
Yeah, 28 or something.
Yeah. So it was kind of surprising it. So you're gonna have 3 quarterbacks who are first or second year in the league.
No, Rippon's gone.
That's what I mean.
Oh yeah. Yes. Sorry.
Austin Reed's on the practice squad.
Well, yeah. But he'll probably dress.
Trevor Siemian's probably
dress
floating
game
around
days
somewhere.
He'll dress game days as the emergency quarterback.
So you're allowed to do that like the backup goalie now, I guess.
Yeah, so once the emergency quarterback comes in, the other guys can't come in. They can't, like if Williams goes to the locker room and Bagent goes to the locker room and it's like, Bagent's actually fine, but you had put in Austin Reed.
Yes,
then Reed plays the rest of the game. That's the rule.
It's a fine rule.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that in Hard Knocks, and I feel like anything that they've talked about even this whole offseason is that the Bears have Kevin Byard. Kevin Byard's like an awesome safety that we saw none of, and I don't think we've seen him play or anything like that.
Oh, that. Thank you, Lance. That reminds me of another point. Can they just show me a shot of Darnell Wright? Like top.
Yeah, because remember
he's a top 11 pick. Like
top 11 pick, and he did have some personality moments last year too. Remember what he did? Like he accidentally did the wide receivers conditioning training.
Yeah, and he passed it.
Yeah,
yeah. Like just show me. Like he's a top 10 pick. Excuse me.
Yeah.
9th overall, right?
No, it's 10th overall. Sorry, I got him and Fields mixed up. Just like.
Yeah, no.
Remind me he exists.
Either. Yeah, like none of the no big boys on this show.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that we have just remind me that our
focus on the offensive or defensive line at all.
Yeah, just remind me that our right tackle of the future is alive? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's something I'd like to see. Yeah, nothing from the really DeMarcus Walker, nothing really from Sweat.
Nobody in the trenches, yeah.
Yeah, Jervin Dexter, like everyone
nothing
talking about him.
He was a big talking point in the local media that all...
Yeah, the linebacking crew, nothing really. Nothing. Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot more local guys on the team too.
Yeah,
a lot of weird holes. But I don't just
whatever.
Let me see
just give me the week one.
Let me see my right tackle.
Yeah.
HBO.
Why the right tackle?
Because he's a high pick.
Why not the blindside tackle?
Sure, I'll see. I'm fine with that too.
Okay.
Sure. Give Braxton. I'd love to hear more from you. Give me anyone. I don't know. Give me. But. Just Darnell's going to be here for a long time. We're probably going to pay him a lot of money at some point.
Hopefully.
So, anything else? I know we said we were going to get to the Cubs and Sox, but I mean, Cubs, same old story. I don't know. We'll see their weekend against the Nats if they're going to fool us or not.
5.5 out. It's in like the Braves and the pot. Like they just don't. It's like the Cubs have won 7 out of 10. Good run. And Braves went 8-2 in that same stretch. So it's just like you need the other teams to kind of do you some favors, and it's just not happening. So I've given.
That's what I tried explaining to you. If you would clean the potatoes out of your ears a few weeks back when you rebought into the Cubs for like the 12th time this summer, they have too many teams to jump.
They jump most of them. To be fair,
still too many.
Right now, it's just the Mets and the Braves. So
I'm looking at the wild cards.
So Dave, we were both right.
Now.
Dave, anything on the White Sox achieving lost 100?
So I flipped them on last night while I was cooking dinner. Fantastic little chicken cutlet meal, not to brag. And they started the game. Garrett Crochet proceeded to throw 4 pitches, and then they canceled the game, and they got a doubleheader today. It's the first time in baseball history a game has been started without a out being recorded and then rained away. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So even the fucking sod fathers washed.
Damn, that's twice baseball. Like baseball's been around so long, you just assume shit like that
has happened.
It's the same thing about the Red Sox and the Blue Jays guy who played for the same team in the same game.
Day,
because he got traded and then
went across.
Yes,
you can do.
Yeah, I just saw it on Twitter yesterday.
You can just activate them. Wait, that just happened?
Yeah, it was like last week.
Yeah.
I did not see
like Lyle Overbay or somebody like that.
Lyle Overbay's been dead for a while.
I mean, he was one of those guys.
No, that was the last time it had happened, I thought.
No, it's never happened.
What was the tweet I saw?
I don't know.
Looked like Lyle Overbay.
that's throwing Lyle Overbay.
But it was when they started pulling the tarp because I knew Crochet's night was cooked. Mm-hmm. I'm like, they can't do fucking. I just started laughing. Yeah. I'm like, you fucking moron.
Here's what it is: Danny Jansen plays for both teams in Blue Jays Red Sox game at MLB First. Former Blue Jays and current Red Sox catcher Danny Jansen didn't just play for both teams in the same game. First in Major League Baseball history, he batted for both teams in the same inning.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucking funny.
Baseball's been 130 years old.
Yeah,
long time. In a statistical oddity made possible by 2 of the quirkiest entities on Earth, the baseball rulebook and the New England weather, Jansen became the only player ever to appear on both sides of a baseball box score when he took the field for Boston on Monday in the resumption of a rain-delayed game. He started for Toronto in June before he was traded to the Red Sox.
Okay, so that's what. All right, yeah. That's so not as
like
fun.
He cleared waivers that.
Yeah, like in the middle of the game, because I didn't think you could make roster moves in the middle of the game like that.
No.
Okay, so it was a loophole. All right, that doesn't count. I don't count.
Still kind of cool though. Like,
yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, like I hope someone splices the game together.
Yeah,
you know,
they already have.
And just like see it, someone remasters it.
Well, he'd be the catcher in the top, right?
I mean,
he's bad. Yeah.
That'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
I hope someone splices that game together. That would be. MLB should do it. You think they will, Dave?
Maybe. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Should I go to loss 123, Ed?
Yeah, I think you should. Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. Cool.
I think
pride.
I think you have to.
Just go to the bar.
Self-esteem.
Yeah. I think you have to, though.
Just go to Cork. I was considering going on Sunday to loss 100, and then you know what I said, Chief? Nah.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Nah. Fucking losers.
I think you should go.
I might.
Dave, what would it take to get the juice back for the White Sox to make you actually want to go back into the building? What would it take?
Actual want to win.
TWTW?
Yeah. The an organization that puts winning at the forefront.
Okay.
They can even lie to my face again. Not that they haven't been, but now it's just so obvious that they're lying. At least find a way to guise it, Yeah. So at least trick me. Now you're not being good at tricking me.
They tricked you last time.
The last time, yeah. They're trying to do the same things this time too. I already fell for those once.
Trick.
Yeah, they need a new trick. Yeah. What can they do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sign Juan Soto this year. They should honestly. I would love if they just went full heel.
What does that look like?
Signing Juan Soto this winter and then trading him before opening day or something.
Oh, I was gonna say, you would love if they signed the best player available.
No, yeah. But and then trade him.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, that already kind of happened with the White Sox. So after the 94 strike, and I don't remember the 94 strike, thank fucking Christ, because my hatred for Jerry Reinsdorf, it would push me to things that I shouldn't legally say on a public forum.
Good.
But the 94 strike happens, Jerry Reinsdorf spearheaded it, and afterwards he was so pissed off at the rest of his ownership groups for taking that CBA. What did he go and do?
Albert Bell?
Went and signed Albert Bell to then at the time record-setting contract. Fuck you, money out the asshole. Everyone's like, holy shit, look how much money the White Sox paid for Albert Bell. He was with them, a year and a half?
Or something like that, yeah.
Well, at the time, no, it was $55 million. It was
$8 million a year.
I think it was 11.
Okay.
5
What's
for
he
55.
projected to get?
Soto?
Yeah.
I would 4, I would guess. He's only 25 or 26.
Wait, Ohtani got 415.
Ohtani? Ohtani got 700.
Oh, fuck, that's right.
But it was
weird.
Yeah, it was super deferred or whatever.
Yeah.
But
the White Sox should offer him whatever it is, just $5 million less, and then
we tried.
No,
that's what I'm saying. They should go do the whole thing they did last year or last time with Harper and Machado, and just do that again.
Jerry should just be well, Michael's picking up the tab on this. I'll sign him to a 10-year deal. I'll pay, he's on the hook for 3 years and he dies, and then Michael, his son's going to pay the rest.
Pay the rest. Would you see, this is, I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question. I feel like my father, if he had money and if there was all the stress that came with having that much money and it was being left to me, he would want it so the stress was just tenfold what it was for him placed on me, just so he could go out happily. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
fuck him. I don't care about him anymore.
Evil.
I'm goner. I'm dead. He can deal with that shit.
Yeah, boomer.
Yeah.
That's a boomer way.
Is that a boomer way?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just leave someone else's problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Someone
holding the bag.
Yeah.
Someone else's problem.
Yeah. All right, then. We could wrap this up.
All right.
Anything else? Everybody good? How's this room feel?
I think I'm okay.
I feel great.
Is everybody fine?
Yeah.
All right.
Are you okay, Ed?
I'm fine. Why? You're acting like, what was this? What do you feel like you dug into me today?
I'm asking you because I wasn't sure if you were gonna answer it with a take.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I just
you know, take.
Well, listen, that's why this show works. We all got our roles. That's
we are all pretty different.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I like to interview and kind of set the fucking
mousetraps.
Set the mousetraps, and that's kind of the beauty of it. So, all right, this was fun. Thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week. Like I said, big show announcement.